Hey, so today I'll be talking about um this was my P1 and today I'm going to be talking about Shiplake and McDonald's. First is like external and internal recruitment. So firstly, reasons for vacancy. So this is internal. Employees are leaving, employees are moving up in the ranks. So an example for Shiplake, they could be head of education and they're moving up to deputy head, so therefore they're leaving and a vacancy comes clear, so a position becomes free. Maternity leave, so there's a teacher that's obviously pregnant and she's moved up in the ranks. This could be the same for McDonald's, like an employee, like the manager could be pregnant and therefore she has to take maternity leave so they can have a position to fill. Furthermore, in McDonald's, someone could move up from assistant manager to manager, um, or they could move stores. They could be recruited to a different store, so there could be a vacancy in that store if they're moving from assistant manager in one store to manager in another. Also, they could be overqualified, so a deputy headmaster might move to a different school because they feel like they should be headmaster now. With the same with McDonald's, people moving to become a manager in a different place or like a different branch, like KFC or Nando's. Decisions to recruit. Basically, in both Shiplake and McDonald's, they want to fill a vacancy, either a teacher, assistant head, or front of house for McDonald's, actual cook. So they could have opened up a new restaurant in McDonald's, and therefore there'll be a big vacancy, or they could have set up a new department in Shiplake College, like politics, and therefore they need a whole range of new teachers for that, so there's a vacancy. Internal recruitment, so for example, if in McDonald's someone could be promoted to assistant manager, and basically they can understand the process in the restaurant. And then also, as I said before, people may need change of location in McDonald's as well. And it's the same for the headmaster and deputy headmaster. They could feel like they are moving up in the ranks. Further this, of cost and time. So McDonald's and Shiplake, McDonald's would obviously have to pay for their adverts on like job centre sites, etc. Maybe to promote the fact that there's a job free. Don't think this would be that expensive though. And Shiplake rather would probably have connections within different schools. However, they would have to follow this up instead, so it could take a lot of time, whereas McDonald's is more costly. Secondly, for my P2, I'm just going to talk about more the current EU and UK legislation and the impact of legal and regulatory framework on recruitment and selection activities. So basically what they have to be aware of when they are hiring people. So to start, the EU and UK have a lot of legislation that go on. It has to be taken into consideration by both McDonald's and Shiplake and any other job centre, any other restaurant, any other firm and industry. First one is Sex Discrimination Act, which has been defined on Google as an act to render unlawful certain kinds of sex discrimination and discrimination on ground of marriage, and establish commission with function of working towards the elimination of such discrimination and promoting equality of opportunity between men and women generally and for related purposes. So basically, McDonald's, they could not fire a woman because she is a woman. They could not give a woman less pay because she's a woman. So if there's the same job and the man and the woman are both assistant manager, you cannot pay the woman less or treat the woman almost as less important, so you make her work more because she's not a man. And that is why the Sex Discrimination Act was established in 1995. Furthermore, so this is another really big one, is the Race Relations Act, which is described as an act to make fresh provisions with respect of discrimination on racial grounds and relations between people of different racial groups, and to make it basically helped along with the Sex Discrimination Act and bringing provisions act relating to administration and enforcement into conformity with corresponding provisions of the sex. So basically, you cannot fire someone or you cannot hire someone on the fact that they are black or white. So they have to make sure that it's based around fully their qualifications. It can't be a racist act of whether you're going to hire someone or not. And that's basically why they brought this in. It's very similar to the Sex Discrimination Act as well. Just making sure that everyone is treated equally. So McDonald's, they have to treat the person the same when in the interview. With the same with Shiplake College, there'll be no based on what colour of their skin they are, what religion they are. So you cannot not hire someone because they're a Muslim or Christian. Next one is the Equal Pay Act of 1970, and it was actually established by the United Kingdom. And this is basically another one to do with men and women, how women can be less favourable treatment because men, in terms of pay and conditions of employment. So it's an Equality Act. It's been established by the Equality Act now in 2010, so 6 years ago, to like emphasise this point. But so saying when they're recruiting in Shiplake, they cannot offer someone a lower pay if they're a woman, and this is the same for McDonald's. The Employment Act of 2002 is Parliament, which is another act established in the UK. Parliament cannot go back to that. Parliament made a series of lists which jobs cannot stop them doing. So when recruiting, Shiplake College could not think, oh, would this woman have maternity leave in a year or so? Would it be worth hiring her? They have to look past that and just think about her qualifications. So this act includes balancing work and commitments with family, and how they want to extend maternity leave to 6 months of paid work and 6 months unpaid to make it fair on women. Kind of the same with men as well, because obviously men get maternity leave, and you cannot work more than 11 hours you cannot work a whole day without 11 hours rest, and you have to get a day off at the end of a week of work. So basically, Shiplake could not ask, when recruiting, for them to work 8 days a week to make them more competitive, as in 8 days on and then a day off or half a day off. They cannot ask them, so therefore the contestant cannot be more competitive. They have to offer the same stuff to people, and it has to be in line with the Employment Act. Along with this European Working Directive, it gives the EU workers the right of a minimum hour each holiday. Oh, actually, this kind of falls into each other. It's basically the same as they are not allowed to work 24 hours without 11 hours of rest. They have to get a day off each end of the week, and you can't work more than 48 hours a week. So once again, when recruiting, they must offer a job that stays in line with this. So Shiplake College cannot expect a teacher to work 7 days a week without have it working 7 to 7 each day a week. Following this, national minimum wage. Obviously, McDonald's, I would say, is more relevant to this, along with Shiplake catering staff. They have to offer them minimum wage a week according to their age. Also, sometimes more, as it's more of a luxury, and McDonald's obviously isn't in debt, so they should offer them almost more pay than they see. And if they don't do this, then it's illegal, and recruitment is just unfair, and it's going to be less competitive as well. And finally, the Data Protection Act of 1998. Make sure that if people are recruiting to your agency and they hand in your CV, that their information is not going to be passed on to anyone else. And I think this is a really key one, because businesses can fall back on this if they're going to share people's information over the internet to other companies, as this is just a breach of the Data Protection Act. So yeah, that's my P1 and P2. and Bethan Tinker. Bye.